Holy Mother of God. It's happening.
It's here.
Good morning. Good evening. Good freaking night. The world is on fire, and we are coming to you guys on a Friday. What is even the date today? 1/29/2021. And listen, everything is being turned upside down. Memes turn into dreams. Redditors attacking suits. Wall Street versus Main Street. We got so many different things happening. Chamath is going on CNBC, absolutely tearing it up. Pomp is on his YouTube talking about the little man beating up the big man for the first time ever. And we have a lot of things to get to, mainly around what you've seen in the traditional financial markets that's bleeding now into crypto. But damn, we are ready for this episode. Buff, how you doing, my man?
Is this real life? This is crazy, dude. This is what I love about crypto is there are catalysts. There are moments in time where society takes a step back and goes, wait a minute, this model don't work no more. And right now, the game is about to stop, pun intended. Occupy GameStop has been happening. The people are rising up, and I am excited. Yes, let's go. Let's do this. Let's shake it.
I don't even know where to start. This isn't going to be our normal show. Normally, it's breaking news, quick news. Let's get into DeFi. Let's get into NFTs. We've got some other stories. We've got some things to do there. But god damn if we're not going to spend half of the episode on what's happening in the markets, man, with Doge, with Elon, Bitcoin, just all of these different things. I'm getting feelings of just, I don't even know where we're headed from here, but I just know that we're at the precipice of something. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
something started. The fire's been lit. It's on.
It's nuts, guys. It's nuts. The Main Street versus Wall Street narrative is amazing to see play out in real time. Yep. The literal forces of our society are on display, just on full display, and the whole world is watching. So it's an amazing time. Glad to be with you guys today. No, Robinhood did not shut down our show. We're going to touch on a lot of Robinhood stuff. They gave their gift cards out to the employees, man. They got $40 in credit. So they should be happy. They should shut up. They need to stay on the ground. They need to continue doing what they're doing. It's about the suits versus the little man. And for once in a blue moon, the little man won. And they said, nope, not happening. Shut it all down. This is not how the game is supposed to work. You're not supposed to go into the casino and take the casino's money.
The house don't want that. That's not how the house works.
Hell no. You can tell we're on a tangent, and by all means, guys, you're in the chat. We know you're there. Tell us what you feel, man. This is going to be almost like a therapeutic Layer 1 live today, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let us know what you think. Are you jazzed up? Is this just another thing? That's one thing I'd love to talk about before we bring Ronan in here, because he's got some good announcements for the lads. It's hard to not get emotional here, but that's what we need to do. So how do we view some of this stuff unemotionally and all that, man? But we've got a lot. So get the lads in here. All-time high is going to be 113, I believe, 112. So we have to hit that 113 mark. But just let us know what you're thinking, Buff. Let us know what you're thinking in the chat, guys. But what are we doing today? What are we doing today?
Let's see here. If I could predict what a lot of people are doing today, they're probably sitting in front of a laptop or a big screen TV watching the movie The Big Short. That came out in 2015. If I know people, that's probably what a lot of them are doing right now, trying to figure out what the hell a short is. I bet you a lot of people just learned in the last 24 to 48 hours what a short is and how the shorting system works and how it's might have come to an end. That strategy will just leave people way too vulnerable. And as we're learning, the people have a lot of power when we come together, when we finally all separate our differences and come together for one thing and one thing only, and that's to stick it to the man. And that's what's happening right now. As investors, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people in the Discords, where they're like, I'm doing this investment not for financial gain, but to really stick it to those who have had hold on the house. They're sticking to the house right now, a corrupt house. That one thing I love about crypto since I got in is I knew the revolution was on. I knew centralized systems were a dying breed. And it's essentially like what the internet has done in the change systems. This is exactly what crypto is doing right now. This is the catalyst. This is just part of the domino effect. And I'm excited, man. I'm loving it.
it's hard to know where we're going to start with this discussion. I see a lot of good comments coming through. Loadmaster's keeping us grounded, though. He's saying Avogacci is what I'm doing. Same thing, my brother. I was there this morning trying to get some rewards. We will touch on that in the NFT section. But a lot of great comments coming in. Overman's coming in saying Reddit rebellion. Anton saying it's time. Cody's coming in here saying XRP to the moon. JK, unless, who knows? Who knows? What financial? Where are we in the financial spectrum right now? We are on planet Mars. That's what it feels like. There is no normal anymore with what WallStreetBets was able to do. What these guys were able to do. Where they really, you said Occupy GameStop. That is what happened. We tried, or the little man tried with Occupy Wall Street, and it didn't really hit them where they needed to be hit. Right? They said, go bang on your drums, go sit on those cement streets and do what you need to do. We'll kick you out eventually. You guys will get tired. But these guys beat them at their own game, and you can't have that. You cannot have that. There's so many different things to get to. The fallout from this is going to go way past what we've already seen. You see apps shutting down, right? They're probably getting a nudge from the powers that be. That's only the first crescendo, man. These guys came at the king. Don't let it be twisted like that. This is not the last thing you'll hear. The suits will not go down quietly, and there will be a lot of fallout from this. What that is, we'll see.
Yeah,
but it is. Overman saying it's the beginning of the end for the boomers. This feels like the first win millennials have had in a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. It's just the beginning too. So I really see the power in WallStreetBets kind of. I mean, they had like 1 million subscribers and users on their Reddit a week or two ago, and they're at 6.2 million right now and climbing. So it's exciting when we see everybody come together and use this to change corrupt systems. So hell yeah, man, we're going to get into a lot of this. I can hear Ronan pounding on the door saying, you guys let me in. I want to talk about something special. So let's get to that man right now. How about it?
I will. Yeah, let's get to him. I want to break down the episode as well. Okay. We have the quick news. We have the NFTs. We got the social. A lot of stories within that. Obviously, majority of this discussion is going to be on what me and Buff just talked about. But before we do get there, before we break all this stuff down, let us go and break Ronan in. I'm going to bring him in right now. Ronan, how are we doing, my man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Sorry, we guys, we're having some audio things where we got to switch into Discord, switch into Zoom, all that good stuff. So we do have Ronan here to break down one of the breaking stories from Layer 1 today, which we just tweeted out an hour and a half ago. Ronan's been working on this project for a little while, and we thought it would be best if we heard it from the man himself about what's happening within Lads, what's happening within Layer 1. You let me know, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. So we've been working on this one for a while. I think the first time we reached out to anybody was in October. And the first collaboration that we put together was Cult Bits and Joke Rig. And those two guys kind of started this whole snowball effect, right? So what we have now has kind of evolved into what we're calling Casa de Arte. And what that is a professionally led live auction event that's going to be taking place in the metaverse, right? So what does that mean? That means that you can go into Decentraland. You can go to the gallery where we're hosting it, which is going to be the Savis Gallery. So you can find this information. It's all in the tweets. We've got a blog out there. We've got some information coming for you guys. Lots of previews are going to be dropped on Twitter, on that Twitter thread. So you guys are going to want to check that out. But it is going to be at the Savis Gallery at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, January 30th. And that's Eastern time. I think it's 14. We've got 14 artists. I think we've got a total of like 17 different pieces, man. And it's awesome, dude. We've got some collaborations so we've got, I think, 4 separate pieces that all have soundtracks that were specifically made for these pieces for the lads, with Lad City was kind of the inspiration for a lot of these pieces. So you're going to see like some lads, references in there. If you look real closely, right? So it's really cool to think that like we've got artists who are coming in, being inspired by what we're doing, the vibe of Lad City, the cyberpunk, and then wanting to create from that, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of like part one. Part two is through the amazing thing that is the internet and Twitter and Clubhouse, we've actually come across some absolutely amazing artists who have been inquiring about NFTs and inquiring about the digital space, but they weren't really sure. Excuse me, but they weren't really sure like how to get this going, right? So we partnered with them. We've got 4 new artists, I believe, who are all dropping 2 pieces of art each, and those pieces are going to be literally the first offerings that they have in NFTs. So this is like kind of the start to these guys' careers, and I beg you to make sure that you guys are watching the thread on Twitter, because these artists are going to blow your mind. These guys fit the space, they fit the vibe, right? We actually have one who's a photographer, and if you check out her work, you think it's digital, right? Like it's got this like vibe, like she went in and she did all this post-production. But in actuality, man, she goes into her studio and she creates these entire scenes and worlds by hand. And everything you see is an actual like physical piece of something. I mean, she says that she spent upwards of like 80 hours building a scene where she gets like 2 photos out of. So it's insane, but she does crazy stuff. She told us about one scene where she throws this pool out and she has this like kiddie pool, and then she throws all this dirt out, right? And it took her 2 months to clean up this dirt. But it's this really dope scene of like almost a tunnel underground, kind of swampy. But the pieces that they're dropping are awesome, man. We've got Karen, Wes Henry, Dr. Zatar, who's this really young kid who's just like has this passion for digital art, right? And he's got this really unique style, and he has these like pinks and blues that kind of are in all of his art. So you guys are going to want to check them out. You're going to want to check out their Instagrams. You're going to watch that thread for the previews. And that's what we've got coming to you guys. I'm sure I missed something, but you can let me know, Q.
I'm so excited for this event, and your passion for the NFT space, specifically the art scene, is palpable in what you've been doing all along. So for you to create this and do this for the industry is amazing. So what's the, I don't want to go down a full rabbit hole. We kind of just wanted to introduce the event here. That's going to be amazing. Again, it's going to be on Saturday, 1:30. So that's going to be the 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. What's the vision of this going forward? What is the vision of Casa going forward into the future for Lads and for the bigger kind of NFT art scene?
The idea here is to capture the that auction feel, right? Like the live auction feel, being in the same room as the people that you're bidding against and being up against that like super short timer, right? Like we've got all these experiences where the timer's reset and you get 5 minutes to decide whether or not you want to make a bid, because you have to consider the fact that the internet lags and all these things, right? This is different. Everyone's going to be in the same room, technically, right? Now, you're going to be able to attend either through Decentraland or through YouTube, right? So you can be in YouTube chat as long as you register. Registration is required if you want to bid. You can throw out your bids in YouTube. We've got ushers who are going to be in YouTube and in Decentraland who will be sending those bids to our live auctioneer, which is something that we don't believe has been done yet in this space, right? Having a live auctioneer piped in through a live stream, kind of calling it out, raising the bids, doing the whole thing, man. It's going to be a really cool event. One other thing that we did not touch on was the fact that if you hold Lads, we have set this up to where all the artists have their own OpenSea store. So they've got an OpenSea store. If you have Lads, you're going to be bidding in ETH, but you can check out in Lads because all of the artists have activated Lads on their storefronts, which is really, really cool. So, but what is this looking forward? Moving forward, it's hopefully a monthly event, probably going to be the last weekend of every month. We'll be working with both featured artists, which will be a combination of new artists to the platform, as well as the previous month's new artists. So they'll kind of come back for a second showing with us a month later. and kind of go from there, right? Like, who knows what, the sky's the limit. We would love to do this every month and kind of make it something that the scene and NFT collectors and artists can kind of get excited about, right? Like, what captures Nifty really cool is like that 15 minutes leading up to the drop, right? Everybody's super excited, everybody's super hyped. The drop happens, you get your pieces, and then 5 or 10 minutes later, like, you're like, all right, we're done. Like, that was awesome, but you're not really in it. You're not feeling it, right? The vibe isn't there. You're not bidding against people live. Like, so I think it's going to be a great experience. I really hope the lads turn out. If you're not bidding, it doesn't matter. Come into chat, like, hype it up, let people know, our vibe, and support these artists more than anything. Come in and just like build them up. They don't, like I said, I don't expect everyone to be coming in and bidding, but let these guys know that we appreciate what they've done for us and coming into the scene through, kind of our program, right? So every month, new artists, featured artists, a live auctioneer who has agreed to, like, if this thing pops off, she's definitely down for a monthly event. I think you guys are going to love her. She's got a great personality. She does this professionally. She actually had, I think, another auction on Sunday. So it's going to be fun.
The pieces look amazing, Ronan, man. I'm really excited to see exactly what I can get myself, not going to lie. What can any lads or anybody that's going to show up on this do to prepare ahead of time to make it easier for everybody?
Thank you for asking. They can register. So if you guys go to bit.ly, bit.ly/Casa RSVP, if one of you guys can pin that in chat, that'd be awesome. If you go to there, you register, get us your information. Even if you don't plan on bidding, just leave the Ethereum section blank. What that's going to do is that's going to let us know how many people we should expect. But it's also going to get you guys an email blast that will go out probably first thing in the morning. It'll give you details on where you're going to want to go, what time you're going to want to be there. It'll have all the details. But basically, I would say first thing you guys need to do, boot up Decentraland, check it out, see if it works on your computer. If it doesn't, go ahead and plan to attend via YouTube. We'll have a YouTube link up in the Twitter thread at some point later on today. We can go ahead and get that thread started. So I think that covers most of it.
Yeah.
Now for Decentraland, do they need to create a user to do this?
If you want to bid, you need to create a user. You can attend Decentraland as like anonymous, but if you're anonymous, then we can't tie your username to your Ethereum wallet, and we will be checking Ethereum wallets just to verify funds as soon as a bid finalizes. Because we do not want to have any issues where someone doesn't have the funds, they can't transfer them, that kind of thing. So that is part of that is required. So you definitely want to, if you go to Decentraland, and we've got the instructions in the email. The email will tell you how to get a screen name on Decentraland. Nice. So it's perfect. Yeah, it's going to walk everybody through everything. So let your friends know if they're interested. They go to that link. Super easy to remember. bit.ly/Casa RSVP. They'll get all the information tomorrow, and they can show up and have a blast.
So keep in mind that we have all of this information in Lad City. We have it on our Twitter as well. We've got that big thread that's going to contain all the previews so that you guys can see all of these pieces. And then tomorrow, that is when these purchases are going to be able to be made in ETH. And then you can also, on the OpenSea storefront, you can actually pay in Lads. The one thing I want to see right now is, one thing I want to tell everybody is nobody's going to outbid me on this piece that I got in front of me right here, dude. This major Tom piece is sick. That was when you dropped this piece and you were like, hey, this is because we got the preview, I think, like 2 weeks ago. When you dropped this to me, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but the best part is, Q, you haven't heard the soundtrack. He's got a soundtrack that his buddy made. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's definitely in the tweet that's going to be going out. And we're making sure that we try to call him out as often as possible. And I'm so sorry I don't have it in front of me. But the soundtrack, dude, for that NFT is dope. Definitely, once you hear it, you're going to be like, yeah, no, nobody's getting this one.
So we have a long episode to get to, so I want to let you go.
Absolutely.
You did a great job explaining this. But the last thing I will say is that the team and the moderators and a lot of the guys who are involved in Lads day to day, along with the community, but more so talks between the mods and the team, there's going to be future utility with some of the artworks that are sold. You know, there's going to be future abilities to be using LADs for these events. Maybe it gets you a VIP access the night before into like a VIP event, things like this. We're planning on doing a lot of cool things with Casa de Arte with LADs as well. So there's a lot of cool things that are coming. This is kind of that first initial like alpha release almost of this event, and we can't wait to get it into the hands of everybody, man. It's going to be awesome.
To speak to that utility as far as the NFTs are concerned, the LADs are going to want to look at the tape player and the cassettes. They're pairs. Okay. So that might mean something. That might be something you guys want to pay attention to. That's all I'm saying. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time, guys. I hope you have an excellent episode. Love you and all the LADs, our vibe, our tribe. I'll talk to you guys later.
Later,
awesome,
bud.
Man. All right, we're going to switch back over to Zoom here. But that was awesome from Ronan. So thank you again, Ronan, for coming in. Awesome. I am back. Wow. So Casa de Arte, again, that is going to be on Saturday. Buff, am I coming through all right there? It looks like you're muted on Zoom. 1 minute. Here we go. This is me.
And I'm back.
Full unfiltered. Oh, God. That was my time to take over the episode.
Yeah, no, that's all you got, bro. I'll give you 2.5 seconds without the buff.
All right, so last thing real quick, guys. I'll show it to you one more time. Casa de Arte, our first event is happening on Saturday. That is tomorrow. We're going to have I believe we're going to have a preview gallery, but again, you got to work with us. This is that alpha event that we're working with. But the one thing that I know is true is that Ronan has the energy to lead this going into the future, and it's going to be an awesome thing for the space to be able to have these live auctions. Because again, he touched on that's what's missing, right? Like you have these Twitter where Nifty Gateway's kind of putting their tweets out about these different drops. Everyone's getting hyped, but there's no real like live experience where you're in Discord or you're in Decentraland or you're on YouTube. That's what I think the value prop for Casa is going to be, and I can't wait to announce more things that we're going to be doing with LADs there, man.
So I love all these events that are like exactly like what you just said. All these new events that are popping up. We have premieres this weekend. We have a premiere next week with another show. And I love that because the best thing about LADs and LAD City that we're doing here as a community is coming together, is collaborating in what your passions are, whether it's gaming, whether it's auctions and buying NFTs in the art space, whether it's getting an entry point in a coin and trying to talk about trading. All of that is covered in LAD City. I love these events is what has really brought me in deeper into this because I've connected with people on almost all the events we've done. It all started at that pineapple meme adventure in Decentraland. I remember showing up with you guys. I was screen recording. I got to hear from Loadmasters Rock for the first time. I actually heard his audio and I was like, oh, dude, that guy sounds so cool. I should chat with him afterwards. And boom, since then, we've been working on a lot of things together. So I think for any of you guys who've been on the outside looking in, maybe you've shown up here to watch the shows, but you haven't really dabbled yet in LAD City, come on into our LAD City Discord. We'll post that link here in the comment section and really just get to know us because as we do the events, it's the best time to collaborate and connect and make crypto friends, people that you will be here for years. As these cycles happen, we're here together. This is not a solo journey anymore. Come on in. Power to the people as we're seeing it, as we're about to talk about all this crazy stuff. It's all happening because people are coming together. So
absolutely, man.
More events with some LADs because we're making this work.
Yeah, we're gonna hit on LADs Radio real quick. Speaking of an event, so hit on LADs Radio for 10 seconds. Let them know what's happening because we do have to set that countdown. Okay. Because we do have to get to the remainder of the episode. We want to bring that energy for the discussion piece of this episode, man. It's gonna be awesome.
You got it. Okay, if you're watching for the first time, you're wondering what a LADs is. LADs is a LADs token supported by the LADs Crypto Network, which is the main kind of umbrella of all these shows right now. This is Layer 1 Live. We have NFT Live. We have LADs Radio, which is a radio show kind of following off the old days in the 60s with the pirate radio in the UK. I know of over 10 seconds already. But essentially what I'm going to do after this show, I'm going to start up a LADs Radio broadcast for about 2 hours. And we play music. We're doing interviews, going to be talking about all the different things that have happened this week in LAD City. So if you're brand new, it's the perfect time to get in here and get orientated with everything that's going down. Plus, if you like music and you like to talk about crypto, also pretty cool. And then I also like to throw LADs up in the air like I just don't care. So if you don't have a lot of LADs tokens yet, show up. I will hook you up.
Awesome, man. All right, well, we're going to get into this episode. It looks like Buff's making his way through Chinatown there, so he's all over LAD City. Yep. So that is a good look kind of at where LADs Radio might be in the future. But anyways,
I heard something.
I heard a llama. Little Ted Kennedy action. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We've got a full episode here. Again, all-time highs is 112. So if we hit 113, you're going to be earning some extra LADs here today. Please leave a like. please leave a subscribe. It helps the channel. We're growing at a rapid pace. The community's popping off. I think we're super close now to about 1,000 people in Discord, and that's kind of the full cap there where we're at. So the news today, we're going to hit the breaking news. I want you guys to kind of get involved here again with the discussion on what is happening in the markets as far as Robinhood, GameStop, traditional finance, the suits versus the players, the retail market versus institutional, Main Street versus Wall Street, all that discussion we're about to have. We're going to kind of break down the timeline as well. We also have Elon Musk to talk about. We got some Doge action going on. I mean, it honestly never quits. We could talk about Doge literally every year. There's something that pops up. In the quick news, we got Coinbase going with a direct listing and not an IPO. We'll touch on why that's important. And we got a Blockfolio update here, adding some things to their app. And they got interesting timing there. Then we're going to go ahead with NFTs and social. A lot of these things happening as crypto is getting more adopted. That user-facing layer being NFTs and social tokens. We've been talking about that for a minute. A lot of people are not going to come in here and directly get into a DeFi app. That's not how it's going to work. They're going to get in through NFTs and collectibles and all of these different kind of ways that you can use NFTs, and then also social tokens. You see Soulja Boy kind of getting involved. Tommy Wilson, a guy that we've had on this channel, is looking to get into some social. So that is kind of the episode here. We'll touch on NFTs and social at the end, and then we'll slide on in to a Lads Radio. Before we get started, I want to get this show on the road here. Let's hit some comments, man. What do we got in the comment section? It looks like Ballas might be first, so I'm going to give him a real quick shout out. Ronan was obviously in here. X-Plow talking about poker happening next week. We got Danish Crypto in the house. Orlando is in the house. Shout out to my man Orlando. It looks like Coin Hunter's asking about XRP and also about OpenSea. PokePets is launching in 30 minutes. So a lot of good comments, man. The episodes are better when you guys comment. So please join us in this discussion here in a second. But what do you see, man?
I also see another question from Coin Hunter asking about, can we listen to the auction on Lads Radio? Unfortunately, I will not be doing that because I don't want to compete. I want to get everybody into the experience on both the YouTube and Decentraland for that down the road. Might be open to that, especially if we have a reoccurring ones or even smaller auctions where potentially, because as you guys know who've gone to Lads Radio, we do auctions on Lads Radio from time to time. And so as this auction kind of setup emerges, we get more participation. Lads Radio will definitely be branching out and covering more of these live events. So great question, Coin Hunter. Shout out to my boy Fishy. Me and him played a little bit of Day of Defeat last night, talking about the craziness in crypto, but also, playing a little bit of World War II shooter. Gotta love that. Game night, we're trying to get that going again. We're gonna try to do some Blancos today. Is that what we're trying to do, or what you think?
7 p.m. We're gonna hop into Blancos. We're gonna play some Blancos games. So that is a great update. Ronan came in. Buffalo just gave you the update around Lad City, but let's freaking do it. Let's freaking do it. So our vibe, our tribe, we'll get this discussion started. We're going to start with the actual timeline here. I'm going to pull up the image. We're going to kind of go through this. You took the deep dive down the rabbit hole. That's probably like our new drinking game here. So whenever you hear us say rabbit hole, please take a shot. So this is what we got.
Wheatgrass.
Yeah. So we've got the timeline, right, of when this all started. This interestingly goes way back, even before like maybe a couple days, a week, 2 weeks. This goes back months. And you did some research here that we can pull up. Some of it we have that we can pull up. Some of it we don't. But Buff, tell me about how this all got started, and then we'll make our way down into this rabbit hole.
It's very interesting how this all started. It started with a couple users, mainly Roaring Kitty, who is a YouTuber who's been following GameStop for months. And he's really come across what he saw was an over-leveraged kind of short play. And as he saw, and what's happening here is you're getting all these old systems. Think of it like a Blockbuster. Blockbuster was still around. You'd get these investors that would put a bunch of money going, Blockbuster's done. Their model is outdated. They're going to fall apart. I'm going to put a short on it because all they're going to do is go down, and I'm going to keep over leveraging that short to even make more on it. And they just, and eventually Blockbuster goes down and they win that bet. Well, Roaring Kitty, a YouTuber who was following GameStop, he started seeing this. He started letting other people know. And once you tell one person, they tell another, then you get a group going. And then it got into the WallStreetBets Reddit page, which you have a lot of investors who all come together about things. And when they all came together and saw this, not only as a opportunity to benefit in the financial gain, but stick it to those who are doing these shorts and really kind of banking and pushing old businesses out is essentially what I see it as. it just started snowballing. So shout out to Roy and Kitty. His whole YouTube channel has blown up since he's done this. I mean, he was in when it was $4 or less with GameStop. So I'm pretty sure he is a multi-millionaire at this point. And I know that he is definitely blowing up on his channel.
Yeah, I've got the channel pulled up here, man. So we've got GameStop, and he's talking about this 2 months ago. So to your point, there's a lot of different background stories that play into what's just occurred over the past week. And I think you gave a great breakdown. It's the two things here are transparency and leverage, right? The hedge funds usually do not have to report a lot of the shorting that's going on with what they're doing. So the transparency is there. And then the fact that they're even doing that is what leads to all of these collapses. It's what led to the 2008 collapse. When you have this leverage on something that is definitely going to happen, right? I'm going to lever up. I'm going to short this and be on all this type of leverage because there's no way it could go the other way. Well, when it goes the other way, it's bad. But the difference is retail got screwed in the last one. In 08, retail got screwed. We definitely got left holding the bags. Obviously, the banks got left holding bags. But here, specifically in 2021, what happened was retail investors targeting the leverage spots, making sure that they hit those spots so that there would be liquidations, and then it was just a cascading kind of feel upwards, if you mean, because once those liquidations start hitting, that like Dimitri likes to say on Dimitri's desk, those RIP to the beard, got to give a shout out there. But once those liquidations starting to hit, it's rocket fuel up or rocket fuel down, because it just instantly triggers the other side of it, and then you're off. So the problem here that we've run into now is the fact that this all occurred, which we'll continue to talk about, and want your guys' comments here because it's going to be an amazing chat. We're here all day, baby, talking about this stuff. The problem is that once Wall Street got hit here by the Redditors, they turned it off. They said, nope, turn this shit off the other way. This is not right. They've been, reaching in the pocket of the common man for a long time here. Doing poor practices, unfair practices. But once that role switched, where retail kind of won, you had this situation where they said, nope, can't do this. This is all wrong. This is unfair. Which to everyone on the outside who understands now more and more what's happening, the fact that they're in a position of power and for no reason other than the fact of their upbringing or whatever fast track they were on. It's an amazing story, and it's playing out right in front of us, man. It's crazy.
I feel like this is just one aspect too. Like the shorting aspect of it is a dangerous game where essentially, I mean, you can have 100% return in a sense where, if it's a 100% pullback, that is gone out of business, right? And so you're betting on that. Where a traditional investment, you're trying to hold, I mean, you can 3x, 4x, 5x. And so the reason most people are doing these shorts, it's a risky game, but at the same time, a lot of these people see these old businesses fading away, so they put a lot of this money on it. This hedge fund was making billions of dollars, and in this last year or this year, they've lost $20 billion. I believe on Friday they lost around $8 billion in one day. Oh, yeah. So I mean, this is truly showing that risk. It's a casino game that they took advantage of, and they are the casino at the same time. So now they're saying all the other players who were suddenly going the other way and they're winning. There's like pushing all the players off a craps table while they're hot. Because suddenly they're on a streak, and it's like, but it's a little different than that, of course, but at the same time, man, what I really don't like to see right now is the centralized systems still being the option for most of these investors. Head over to decentralized systems. This is the catalyst now where most people who may not even know about crypto are going to start hearing about like Uniswap and all these decentralized exchanges that aren't going to say, oh, wait, no, you can only sell right now. You can't buy any more of this coin. That's what's happening in Robinhood. They're saying you can't buy more right now. All you can do is sell, which is only going to help the people who are shorting because they're trying to bring that back down to get out of their position. And that's corrupt as fuck. I'm just going to say it. Like, people are going to jail over this, or we all going to riot. There's going to be something going down here. But at the same time, I love what I see with the people. This is so much power, and it's really showing us if we come together, we can change centralized systems and get the fuck out of there and bring out the decentralized systems.
Yeah, and there will be some scapegoat that comes out, some Redditor that they pull out of who God knows where, that they probably just created to kind of throw out and be the scapegoat here, and he'll go to jail and all this different stuff. But it really feels like there's actual change that's about to happen, because unlike other times before, the retail investor or or Main Street hit Wall Street where it hurts. And this feels like one of the first times that's happened in a very, very, very long time. Coin Hunter saying, finally, we get to play the game, and they don't like that.
No.
Orlando saying, all I got to say is Wall Street finally got wrecked. Now they know how we feel, but difference is we don't go crying for bailouts. We pull up our big boy pants and keep on charging ahead. Thomas is saying stimulus goes mostly to large corporations. Corporations short retail. Little guy beats the big corps. Hopefully they don't bail out the hedge funds next. Listen, you should prepare yourself for these guys to get bailed out.
Yeah.
Prepare yourselves right now. I would be surprised if that didn't happen. There's too much precedent. There's too much precedent there for that stuff to not happen. So what's going to happen is the taxpayers are going to bail these guys out for being massively leveraged short. Chamath was saying something that there were more short positions than there was stock in this company by 40%. And I'm just happy that, and I think there is another discussion that you touched on there about the decentralized exchanges, and people are starting to become aware of all this stuff. And it is a little bit funny to have some people kind of come onto crypto Twitter and say that BlockFi and Coinbase are DeFi, when we definitely know that those are just they've got the clothing, right? I wouldn't call them a wolf in sheep clothing. I wouldn't go that far. I think Coinbase has done some good things, but we know those are essentially crypto banks. Yep. They're bringing institutional and the traditional finance system, and they're wrapping it in a cool kid's cloak that says, "Hey, I'm in crypto, but really we know what you are." That's not DeFi. So when we talk about people getting into DEXs and all these things, the conversation should then be: is that set up? Is the infrastructure set up? Ethereum's not usable. Ethereum's not usable for anyone that's out there. They're not going to come in here and try to buy USDC or buy Ethereum and say, I'm paying $40 here. They're not going to know if they even get past the UX and UI, we're not ready. We've gotten better, but we're not ready. Yep. That's another discussion point. But go ahead. I know I rambled for a while.
No, that's a good point right there, because I get excited about all this, but I also got to come down to reality here where this is still being put together. I like with Ethereum as an example. It's still working on its scaling that it's had since it started getting real popular back in 2016, 2017 and running into issues. So if we had mass adoption right now, if everyone says, let's go to the DEX, and everybody starts going to all these exchanges, we'd probably have some issues. So what I love is that it's bringing up the conversation. I work for Microsoft a lot doing these shoots where everyone knows that I work on crypto shows now. I've been invested for years. Certain times they'll sit down with me and ask me a very basic question. 4 days ago, somebody asked me about Doge, and they were like, what do you think about Doge? I was like, well, it's kind of a meme pump and dump coin, but if you get in early and set your sells at 4 to 5x, man, it's going to hit sometime. And interesting enough, 4 days later, did that. I should really follow my advice sometimes, but same point, it's conversations that are happening right now. Everybody, whether you're an investor or not, are talking about this. And this is bringing a global consciousness, awareness to the corruptness of the system. These centralized systems need to go. It's just way too in favor of the rich. Yeah. And I can't stand with investment strategies too, where they go like, oh, you have to be an accredited investor to get in at this rate. If you're just Joe Schmo Buffalo, then you're going to have to pay this rate. I'm like, that to me, I hate that. I can't stand that, because they're almost saying like, we don't trust your broke money. We want these other people with their rich money. Isn't it the same thing?
If you guys haven't heard Chamath on CNBC in full length, I know CNBC's been doing what they can. Obviously, there's copyright there, but there's a little bit in me that says they want that video down more than a lot of other videos. Right. Chamath absolutely goes to town on the anchor who fulfills all the things that you're talking about, where they have these old school mindsets about how things should be valued. The thing is, the example that they were using was that GameStop should not be valued where it is right now. And that blows my who gets to decide that shit?
Exactly, right.
Who decides what GameStop is worth? But that was like the rallying cry. It was like, hey, no way should this be, someone's going to get hurt. That's what they always go to as well. Somebody's going to get hurt. Yeah. No shit, someone's going to get hurt. We've been getting hurt for a long time.
Right. It's true.
But it's when they start getting hurt that it becomes a problem. So I'm going to take you through. I've got the timeline pulled up here from the picture on Discord of GameStop's Wild Week. This is what you sent to me. Let me get that one more time. GameStop's Wild Week, the stock took off on a trading frenzy fueled by a Reddit message board. Again, WallStreetBets, probably the craziest thing that's happened in the last. I don't even know where to go. I'll let Buffalo get into this actual timeline again. But imagine, I posted this on Twitter this morning. Imagine someone going into a coma on January 26th, and trying to explain what's happened over the past year. Like coronavirus, financial institutions, like just collapsing right in front of our eyes. Donald Trump inciting, different things that might be, leading to riots and the Capitol getting breached for the first time since 1776. Like this has been a nuts year, and this is a wow, man. What a year to live through. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right here. We got some Litecoin lovers. We've got some other guys talking about EOS, talking about Polkadot. That's fair. But Buff, go ahead, man. You can get after it.
Yeah, this timeline, one thing I want to say about all this too, if you're new to this kind of what's happening right here, is essentially it's a pump and a dump at some point, right? What you have here is you're going to have a situation where if you're the last of the party, you're holding a bag and you're going to buy at the top. And whether it's GameStop, whether it's Dogecoin, whatever's happening right now, there's going to be a massive movement to show, essentially, we're all shown as individuals, hey, look, we can come together. We can pump this coin. Whatever it does, it doesn't matter. The point is we're all coming together right now to show, and hopefully down the road, we can utilize this better for not just pumping a coin or pumping a stock and whatnot. But right now, Buffalo's just going to give you a little bit of caution, because when I first got in 2017, within the first month, I came across Superman's YouTube channel, which is just a giant shill zone of you name it. He'll talk about anything. He had a little club to join for $10. I was super noob. I jumped in, and then somebody's like, hey, jump into this Telegram group. We have 10,000 subscribers, and what we do is every week you wait until noon at a specific time. We'll drop a name of a token, and everybody buys it, and it will pump. And then you can sell for 10 to 20x your profit. And I was like, what? And I was like, this has to be illegal. And crypto right now is unregulated to this degree to really monitor that, but it's happening every day. And I tried it. I tried it once and I laughed when I did it. I jumped in, I bought a coin that was at 30 cents. It shot up to $6 or $7. I bought in at $3. I had no idea what I was doing, and then couldn't sell because it was moving too fast. And I literally took a step back from my computer and started laughing. And I was like, okay, this is craziness. This is not how I want to make money in my life. I'm very glad I did this so I could warn other people of it. And I got stuck with that bag because it dropped back down to $1 or less, and then eventually below its actual value before the pump started. But lucky enough, I waited about a year and it did come up. But at the same time, very cautious right now with this. Do not put any money that you're really trying to hold on to, because this is a pump. There is who knows when GameStop's going to suddenly come crashing down? Who knows when Doge could potentially come down? So just a word of caution on this. If you're participating, knowing you're participating at your own risk, of course.
Yeah.
And I just worry about that in this mentality, because I've been reading and listening to live feeds all yesterday where people are like, I don't care. I just put another $5,000 in. This is a revolution. This is on. And man, you have to look after yourself in this too, to a degree. So we're very powerful as a whole, and we can be very dangerous as an individual in our own actions. So just be word of caution on that, because this pump is massive and it's addicting. It's a little bit of FOMO. Yesterday, I was sitting there going, man, Doge is doing what I thought it could do. I almost jumped in.
Yeah.
Can't put myself to do it just yet, but at the same time, if you are in it, just be cautious.
I honestly, my mind is exploding from everything that's happened in crypto over the past month. I mean, think about the bear market. I think what we really had was, we had the crash in March within the crypto and in traditional finance, but we really had things start to get nuts DeFi summer. And then since then, it has been an absolute whirlwind. There might have been like a month time off there, but honestly, in the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months, I've been in here for 5 years, and this is even crazier than the ICO craze from the story perspective.
Totally.
The valuations are still there, like ETH BTC ratio still needs to pick up. The altcoin BTC ratio still needs to find itself if it wants to hit those times. But my God, from a story perspective, it's just crazy. And we had all these stories, and there's enough. I mean, we could have a 3-hour episode just talking about GameStop, AMC, WallStreetBets alone. And then for that to move its way into crypto with the buying of we knew that if that happened, that the minds would shift. But we didn't see the pump of Doge happening. We didn't see Robinhood closing down some buying that was happening.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. I knew that like the missteps that these traditional finance people make, and then that's going to push more retail towards us. Yes. But to see Robinhood right away say, oh, no, gotta shut down trading. Coinbase was having problems. That's another big story that we need to hit on this show. So keep the comments coming. I'll get to some of them. But anything there, Buff?
Yeah, I think, with Coinbase having issues, which is something I've seen a trend of when there's major pumps or pullbacks, they almost freeze everything, kind of like with the stock market where they have that circuit breaker where shit's going down so fast. They're like, whoa, everybody slow down. As a centralized exchange, you have control of that. Like you can really have you don't know who's supporting these exchanges when they first came around too. So, there's a little bit of foul play in that sense where they're trying to benefit those who are maybe getting hurt in this pullback or push up. So I think it's something where these centralized, man, I always tell you, and everyone's heard this, and maybe you haven't if you're new here, not your keys, not your crypto. Robinhood, you're buying crypto, you don't really own it. You are essentially buying for them to hold it, and you can either buy it or sell it. You can't transfer it to a wallet. You can't really do anything and interact in the blockchain with it. And so I tell a lot of people that want to get into crypto, like, oh man, I could do Robinhood, I could buy right now. And I was like, that's not how I want to introduce you to crypto. There's a revolution going on with this. And the main part of this all as individuals is you are now becoming your own banker. You need to start shifting your mentality from old daddy daycare up there taking care of your money to you are in charge of your money. You're in charge of where it's stored. You're in charge of how it's interacting with the blockchain. And we need to evolve in that state. So as people are getting introduced right now, which I know a lot of people probably buying Doge for the first time, it kind of makes me go, it's not really crypto right now. You're just chasing the dollar in a sense with that mindset. So part of me goes, man, I wish they could get more deeper into experiencing the power of going in on, holding your own money. So I hope, I was thinking Robinhood's gonna have an issue here. Honestly, I think Robinhood's done. I mean, you look at the reviews of the app, the power with all the people right now seeing like, hang on, why would I want to use an exchange that at any moment could stop me from making more money and essentially sell my shares is what I've been hearing about too. The people that they've stopped, you can't do anything. They'll sell it or they'll give you your initial investment back. So much craziness I'm hearing all over the place. Don't know which is true to a degree, but we're going to find out here as I know Congress is going to potentially look into all this, and everyone who's in charge is really like this can't happen, and this kind of centralized control. And again, this is just something that's being brought to light. This is going on all over the place. It has for many a year, and now it's just kind of everyone all at once is looking at this. So just got to be careful with buying in on something that you're trusting Coinbase or you're trusting Robinhood or any of these apps that are holding your crypto. You have to pull that off to control it yourself. And so if you're going the Robinhood route, you're essentially just saying, I'm only going to hold it in there and I'm going to buy it or sell more.
This happening with traditional stocks and equities where someone is buying someone is buying AMC or they're putting in positions and then the app or the exchange is closing those positions. Think about if that's like selling someone's house and then just like closing in on it and you have all the tax implications that go along with it. You don't own the house.
Yeah.
And that's the first time that it's going to be in somebody's mind that I don't own this. They didn't allow me to cash out my AMC stock, my game stock. I don't own it. You don't own it. That's like saying you don't own your house. So I forced a taxable event on you in that moment. If they sold, I have a hard time kind of even wrapping my mind on the implications of what's happened over the past week. And again, it's always good to kind of remove ourselves a little bit from the emotional aspect. But when I get on here and I'm talking with you guys and you guys are coming through with some great comments we'll get to in a second, you get emotional about it, man. Like, and I'm an emotional guy. So when I see people having their positions closed for them, and there's some aspects to this that as we look further into it, as you do some research, at least the information that these exchanges are putting out there, the reason that this is happening is because all of the volatility is forcing settlements to happen. And that happens when you obviously trading between different brokerages and people who are custodying the assets. That's the trading is happening faster and at a greater volume than these guys can settle, and therefore they need to stop. Yeah. That being said, why do they only stop buying?
Exactly. Like when the stock market has a circuit breaker, they stop everything. You can't just start selling and then no buying, right? And so this is corrupt as all hell. And again, it's going to be a sign for people that are using this going, no, I don't want to be in that position ever again where they could do that to my investments. Your hard-earned money that's already taxed, and you're then using it and having some other person or entity controlling your investments, selling it, and forcing you to have a taxable event. So
let's get to some of these comments. There's a lot of good ones. Paul's correcting me here. It wasn't 1776 when they raided the Capitol. It was 1814. I got it. I got that, man. Nice. Here we go. So we've got Mass Mage coming through with some good comments. Mass Mage is saying all Robinhood had to do was not bend over to the hedge funds, and it would have been a staple for most people investing them. Restricting GME and others was the worst PR stunt ever. They also have an IPO coming out. That's another thing. Let's see if people have short memories with this. They have an IPO coming out. We'll see what they do. Blockfolio had some cool things kind of come out on the heels of what's happening here. But I think everyone here is in agreement that this was not a good move by them. But
I think they're done. I could be wrong. They could be so big to fail, which is we've seen 2008, right? Where they're like, no, they're connected with too many entities. I think they're done though. I mean, this is too much.
Yeah, Mass Mage is saying I'm joining the class action lawsuit against Robinhood personally. I was going to buy GME, but I couldn't because they restricted my trades. There was a bomb set off in the Senate building. Yeah, I guess I mean more like we won't go down that rabbit hole, but yeah. Anyways,
historians here, right on.
Yeah, right. So we got a lot of different stories here. Best believe that and I think you've touched on it, that the SEC is going to have something to say about this. They'll come in and say, "Hey, we need to protect the retail investor, so we're going to come in and try to make some rules." And the point that I was making earlier, if you think these guys are even getting started with shutting down these apps and not allowing people, enforcing closures and all this different thing, they'll say it's about the settlement. Again, I just laid it out, kind of the procedure there, where if there's a ton of volatility, like I think Game was the most traded asset in the world by like multiples, maybe even more so than Apple, and all of these guys who had it on their books. With the settlement thing, I see the logic, but to your point, there's also a thought process of that's something that the person getting caught would say. Yeah. That's something that they would use as an excuse. But outside of that, the SEC and the powers that be, if you think that physical closing of the apps was the worst that they're going to do, you got another thing coming, man. You got another thing coming. These guys are big. They're heavy. They're backed with capital. They control our world as we know it. And if you think that was just the end of it, hell no. Yeah. Hell no. So go ahead.
Hey, right on. Give a shout out to Crypto Hunky right now for the $5 donation. It says, small Korean YouTuber here. We don't own any cryptos. We buy on Robinhood, PayPal, Cash App, and back. GME Robinhood case should clarify this. Well said, brother. I appreciate the tip there. It essentially is bringing the awareness to these centralized systems where you're not owning it, and now it's showing all these decentralized systems as options. So that's what's great about all this. Is sometimes you take a terrible thing to help speed up an amazing thing that's emerging, and so I kind of look at it as like that.
The Overman's in the chat saying we need a tokenized version of the stock market on the blockchain. No one telling us what to do with them. That's synthetics. Mm-hmm. But synthetics is, you need the whole infrastructure, because synthetics is just a derivative. All they're doing is monitoring the prices on the actual stock market. So you're not getting away from that. I mean, you do own the assets, but it's still monitoring the traditional sense. So if that's being manipulated, then synthetics can be manipulated on the terms of the price. So while synthetics is still a derivative and not a full-fledged exchange and all this infrastructure that's not over here, until that moment happens, it's just monitoring price. It's just a derivative asset. So we'll see what happens. There's so many different pieces of this discussion. WallStreetBets is the coolest guy in the world right now. The guy that founded that, the mods. You said there was something like 6 million people in that Reddit.
6.2 million and climbing, and it's the power. I mean, with this story, this is where it came from. This is where the hub, right? And they've tried to filter it. They had to put it in private mode. You can't stop the people from collaborating on the internet. You can't stop. Look what Napster, right? Where they tried to shut down Napster like that. They're like, no, we were gonna stop everybody but sharing music. No, music is still shared all over the place. I mean, granted, iTunes stepped up and created that kind of platform, and other places took advantage of this kind of wild west of what they saw. But in this same spot, you can't stop us from collaborating together on what we're going to do as trades. You just can't. There's just no way about that.
You're about to see this here in a second, Buff. I just pulled up the Dogecoin chart. I'm going to pull up the fully featured chart. This is one of the funniest charts that I've ever seen. I'm going to take us out of the minute chart here. I'll go to an hour. It's just straight up on the daily. So before all of this drama, so on the 28th of December, it was trading at less than a cent, it looks like. And it was moving its way to a cent. Caught a lot of this buy pressure. This is another thing. Where are we in finance right now, and what is the narrative, and how do the markets play out? We already know the narrative that the free market is done. It's not the free market. It's a free market for them until you start making money. Then it's not a free market anymore. We know that narrative has played out. But now you have celebrities. Now you have Elon. Now you have all these guys, and WallStreetBets getting after a token, and it pumps 400%. Where do we go from here? From a financial theory case, like we're in a new paradigm almost.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a theory, and I've been watching a lot of videos the last couple of days as Doge was popping yesterday, I definitely started diving deeper on just looking at the history of Dogecoin, which has been around for a hot minute. It has been through some cycles already. If you watch every time Doge does this, it is very close to either at the beginning or right as it's really starting to turn of an alt season. I'm just saying, look at the charts, pull it back 6 years, 7 years, look back and see what happens when Doge does this. What follows in the markets? What are the people doing when things are happening like this? Now, these could be all random events in that kind of timeline. I'm just saying, though, when I was looking at that, I've been hearing from a couple different sources, like, it tends to be the sign that get ready because this is just the beginning.
It's the beginning of something. We just don't know what that is.
Exactly.
We don't know what that is. We don't know what the response will be from the powers that be. But I'm not sure that's going to be positive for a lot of these people. Like we said, there's going to be people going to jail. There's going to be people scapegoated. The SEC is going to come in and produce more restrictions, or it just goes the whole other way. Maybe this is the crescendo in the collapse of what's happening. That sounds too dystopian to me. That this is where we're at in 2021. That everything's going to be decentralized. This was the knockout blow. No, it's probably going to get a little bit stricter. There's probably going to be a little bit more, regulation in place, and then we're making our way slowly over time. In 10 years, we won't recognize what the system that is in place now. Yeah,
it's they're not going to give up. They're not going to let this kind of profits and the way that they've kind of structured these entities and these centralized exchanges to work. They're going to hold on to this as long as they can. And it's all about the users. Like the people that show up and continue to use this is going to empower it to stick around. Now, if everybody who's using Robinhood starts using decentralized exchanges, this timeline is going to speed up. Maybe it ain't going to be 10 years. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I feel like it's looking more at 5. I mean, look at the evolution since the internet's come on. We are sped up. Every year we're moving so damn fast, especially in this space. A year is 10 years in my mind. It's crazy how fast everything is moving. So, but at the same time, you take a step back and realize it's not going to happen tomorrow, but what has happened is everyone's talking about it right now. And you have a choice as an individual whether to play that centralized game anymore or move on into decentralized and be your own banker.
It's so blatant to all of us what they're doing. And the analogy, and it's probably a shitty analogy, but it reminds me of them like cutting their kneecaps off to save a pinky toe in this moment. To save this situation from happening, they completely expose themselves to the entire world of how this all works. Everyone's starting to figure it out. So by trying to save a piece of themselves, likely this is like the start again of something bigger for most people. So I've got the TRX chart pulled up right here. This is kind of what Buffalo is talking about. There's a lot of people that got wrecked in this spot, up here near the top, near 4 cents. There's a lot of people that got wrecked, and ones that don't have good fundamentals. Like it's a joke that it's crazy here that I'm sitting here talking about fundamentals in Dogecoin. Because, I mean, you have potential fundamentals there. Like you have this Lindy effect that it's been around for so long that it continues and has the narrative when Elon Musk is able to, tweet about it and close, billions of dollars of shorts or hundreds of millions of dollars of shorts by tweeting about Doge. Like But when you have this pump and dump mechanic happen to maybe some, tokens that don't have the same fundamentals or don't have that same, I think the word that's been thrown around on CNBC a lot is momentum, then you have this, a clear pump, clear dump. We'll see where that goes. So shout out to, let's see who, Savage Flint came through and was talking about it. I think we might have had someone else come through and say, hey, take a look at these charts. So
yeah, definitely be cautious in this sense too, where you momentum, you can get some nice gains, but at the same time, you might be left at the top. Again, just your choice on that one. We're all in some people have money that they can lock in and ride this and be like, you know what, I'm doing it because of the momentum in the space, and I'm doing it because I mean, that's the thing with Doge. Doge cracks me up. Ever since I come into this space, I've been like, wait a minute. So this little dog coin really is just utilized as a meme. It was started as a joke, and people supported it because it's fun. It's exciting when you have these giant pumps. And so essentially that's its utility, is just to enjoy these thrills of riding a roller coaster. But roller coasters go up and roller coasters come back down. So I wonder how many people were in the last pump that bought at the top and then now they were able to get out. It's just something interesting. But yeah, I
mean, yeah, it's definitely a full-on roller coaster at this point. People are going to get hurt. People are going to be euphoric. So there's going to be a lot of those things going on. And it's tough to kind of catch all that stuff happening in the moment because, listen, like I said earlier, this is the craziest time that I've ever seen for crypto. So it's just tough to keep on top of everything. So I've got XPOW saying, let's see Q lines and squiggles. I will not be drawing any squigglies today. Remco is the one that was asking about XLM and TRX. It looks like Mass Mage coming through with more comments. Keep them coming, guys. He's asking, how high do you see BTC going by 2025? Ooh. Not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. You do your own research, all yada, yada, yada. Throw up the disclaimer right now. I think that the Bitcoin narrative is so easy, and people don't, people want to sound smart by like going into like a whole thesis on Bitcoin. It's supply and demand. Mm-hmm. It's supply and demand. The relative decentralized nature of the actual asset, when you have all these centralized systems fucking up more and more and more, when you have a decentralized asset and you have the supply and demand there, only 21 million, it's not, composable in that sense. Like it's hard structure, it's hard code is what gives it value, right? It's not the upgradability. No, it's that Bitcoin is going to be Bitcoin for the next 100 years. Yep. And then you have the supply and demand factor there. More the network effect. As more people use it, it becomes more effective. So, I mean, I think people like make Bitcoin complicated when it doesn't need to be. Yeah. And it's just supply and demand. There's only going to be 21 million. There's only a certain amount of people in the world. The network effect is there. Mm-hmm. Barring some catastrophe like a quantum computing hack of the code. I mean, I don't have a number in mind. Do you have a number in mind on 2025?
The best way that I do it is look at the cycles. Look where it was 4 or 5 years ago. Look at that kind of percentage. You got to think every 4 years, the halvening, right? So you've got miners are getting less rewards. Like you said, it's supply and demand. The supply is going to be limited more and more as we progress. And the more people that come into the space, in a sense, it's pretty basic to look at that. But at the same time, it's choices like, do you want this slow moving kind of coin? I mean, to me, I look at Bitcoin as the savings, and I've been dollar costing into it for a while now and just enjoying, kind of the belief that I know that people, it'll never go over 20,000. If you're thinking about the actual number, it's not how it's going to work. I mean, even in the future, there might not even be a dollar to it anymore. Who knows? I mean, eventually, hopefully you won't even think of dollar, but it's essentially just like, it's going to be rare. And it's one of those that you throw numbers on the wall and go ahead and, throw a dart at it. I mean, if it's anything that's 6 figures or above, odds are somewhere in there, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's one of those that it's definitely going to be harder to get as we move forward. So 5 years or 2025, I honestly can't even think. I'm still as far as December of 2024. I think I've told you that's where my mind frame is right now, is these next 4 years. It's hard to really even know where we're going to be in 4 years time at that as well. So yeah.
I'm getting some links out, guys. I'm making sure everybody knows that what we're doing here, we're getting up to 100, so it's getting super energetic. Yeah, I like Buffalo's long-term ideas, and that's how you listen, I said I was out in fiat, not fiat, but a stable coin for all of 24 hours. I sold Ethereum and was out because I saw a pullback coming at like 1,300. That was the most stressful time of my whole life. So at least in the past year, and that says something. As far as from finance, there's way more shit going on. But anyways, I mean, thinking long term, that reduces my stress level, and that produces stuff for me. So I like those mindsets that you have. We have a lot of altcoins that are coming through the chat right now.
Okay.
We've got Aave, we've got Red. I don't know about Red token. I see Solana, Algo, the stable coin, Interesting. I love what Stanley's doing at Aave. I have a tweet back in the day of me trading $26 Aave, thinking that that's a little bit too expensive. So the fact that it's like I'm sure it's at like 280 right now. What is it? What is that? Let's see. I love what Stanley's doing. The decentralized exchanges, those are all momentum based. That was the layer 1 protocols plays back in the day. All the layer 1 protocols were pumping. Exchange tokens were pumping back in the day. This decentralized finance is the movement. It is the momentum. So even though we look at Aave and say, holy crap, like it's up, 300% on 30-day. I mean, God knows whatever it is since Lend. It's Aave is going to be Aave. Like that's pure momentum plays. There's a lot of good things. I like that we're going to talk about some other NFT projects. That's really cool. Being an NFT investor ourselves, whenever like Aavegotchi, we're going to hit. They're launching another thing called Charged Particles. So shout out to the members of our community that got us that information. Charged Particles looks awesome. We're going to touch on them later in the episode. So I don't want to go too much into the altcoin stuff while we still are kind of talking about what's happening in an overall kind of mindset. But it's interesting to see that kind of trickle down into crypto, man.
Yeah, and with altcoins too, I mean, it's so enticing. You see these big old gainers, but at the same time, do your research, really understand that some of these coins can have a moment where you get really excited on the project. They announce something, everybody's happy for a week or two, and then you don't hear anything for months and sometimes years. I mean, you look at some of these altcoins, I don't even know what they're doing anymore, why they're even on exchanges. People are buying them. But yeah, altcoins are enticing, but it's my favorite thing to do is to just invest my time into research first and then wait for that entry point. I'm kind of an old timer in that sense of just investing, and mainly because I lived in Vegas for years, you guys, and I had a little bit of a gambling issue. I couldn't watch football without money on the line after a while, played blackjack way too much. And I hated myself in those times and was like, this is not how I want to benefit in financial gains. It's just too risky. It's too stressful. Like he was just telling you about how, he pulled out for about 30 hours and then sat on the sidelines in something he believes to death in. Essentially, you're guessing. You're saying, I'm going to time the market. And that's stress I don't want. I don't want to have to time the market. I just want to put investments in where I've researched and believe this technology is going to be supported by the community that's emerging that I'm a part of. And to me, that takes so much stress out of the game for me. I'm already going gray way too fast anyways, that I don't need that kind of stress. And dollar cost averaging, I highly recommend for some of you guys. But if you're risk takers, you've got a little bit of money that you don't care if it disappears right away, then altcoins might be a play for you. But do your research and try not to FOMO.
Yeah, and it's hard not to FOMO. The easiest FOMO is when you're talking with your buddies saying, hey, I got in at this price and now it's at this price, and then that's the easiest FOMO that you could get involved in. So we are going to touch on a little bit on altcoins. We're kind of running up to, I think we had 97 in the house. We're running into like 90 here. So definitely want to continue our discussion here. We have Doge tweet volume up 1,800%. Why is that important? It's the first time an altcoin has ever surpassed Bitcoin in Twitter sentiment. So that's an amazing accomplishment for, like we've said multiple times, what is a meme coin at this point. It's a sign of our times, I think. Shakespeare couldn't have written this shit. It's that far out there that we have Redditors taking down the establishment and Dogecoin passing Bitcoin in Twitter sentiment. It's like, this shout out to the tie as well. These guys do a great job. at tracking that Twitter sentiment. I remember working with them all the way back in 2017. So definitely shout out to those guys.
So you didn't buy any Shep coin? I'm sorry, Dogecoin?
No Shep coin. I get enough of that Shep here. But yes, I do have a little Shiba Inu. So yeah, you're right. I should have been in it. But speaking of things that you shouldn't be in, maybe you shouldn't be a Robinhood employee right now, or maybe you should,
Right.
depending on how well you like DoorDash. What is this thing that you dropped to me that's on our dashboard here?
Yeah, you have a bunch of these disgruntled Robinhood employees that are like, hey, the whole world is hating us right now. Come on, this is terrible what we're doing. And then the main people in charge are like, hang on, everybody, we're going to give you $40 credit at DoorDash. Go out and have a lunch, which you'll have to probably put $10 more in for tax for that lunch. Because I've used DoorDash and I can't get in under 40 these days on a good full meal. But this is, come on now, this is just a joke.
This is like an encapsulation of everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so, like, read the freaking room, man. It's so out of touch. That's what this whole thing is about. That's what retail, that's what Main Street's saying. Is like, look, guys, you guys are fucking up, and like, it's blatantly obvious, and that's what this is. It's okay. So in let alone the Robinhood employees that were probably trading, doing some of these things. I'm sure they're not happy either. But there was 1,000 employees getting a $40 credit to DoorDash. So shout out to Robinhood. You're absolutely killing the PR game. Wow.
You're doing great. Yeah. Well, shout out to DoorDash, not Robinhood, right? DoorDash is getting some PR right now. Robinhood apparently had 100,000 negative reviews deleted by Google on their Robinhood app on the App Store. And so, again, it's toast. I just can't see it surviving as what it's done unless there's a major rehaul and people step down and all this.
I got you. Okay, so I think we just hit 100. So shout out to everybody that's here in the chat. Please comment along. You guys are doing a great job. Buff, can you turn up your volume a little bit? You just kind of like went down a little bit more. Give me a test.
Did I lean back? Sometimes I lean back when I get a little relaxed. When I get 100, I feel like we're good to go.
All right, let us know if you can hear, if Buff sounds good, and then we will definitely move on. King is asking, what do you all think about AMC, or what other shares we should invest in? Again, not investment advice here on this channel. We're not financial advisors. I haven't been in the stock market for a long, long time. So if you're coming in here asking for crypto trades, we might have opinions on different, altcoins or Bitcoin itself. But as far as kind of, getting involved in AMC and getting involved in game and what's happening with WallStreetBets, it's tough because unless you're in those groups, which you should definitely be in, that's what's awesome about this. And that's what Chamath was saying as well, is that all of this information is open and free to everyone out there. If you want to be, I'm sure they have private groups, and yeah, of course, that's just the way of the world. But a lot of the information is out there. It's fully, transparent, and that's what is not transparent with the powers that be that are usually using these services and, I guess rigging the game for themselves. So, really cool stuff. Everything's out there. As far as, stocks to look into, I would not. All of it's momentum based. All of it's based on these things. So unless you're in the know of those groups, it's tough to even say.
I've stayed away from traditional stocks. I know I've kind of wanted to diversify a little bit, so I'm not too stuck in the sense of crypto, but I want to be stuck in crypto. I want to move into decentralized investments. Like, that's just, honestly, from June 8th, 2017, I tell this to everybody. And my dog, he told me to stop telling the story, but I'm going to keep on telling it, Mr. Bear. When I watched the documentary, Raza Bit, kind of wanted to diversify. I hit pause. I stood up in my cabin on the farm in Georgia, and I was like, yes, the revolution is on. Centralized corrupt systems, the fiat, the Federal Reserve. Don't get me started. You're gonna get me started here, but I just knew at the time the timer has started, and this is not gonna last much longer. As we move forward, that system is outdated. It just doesn't work for the benefit of the user anymore. So as we move forward, it's going decentralized.
My man, can you? So it looks like I was pinging the chat there. Can you somehow turn your volume up?
Yeah, I'm all the way up here. I don't know on your end.
I tried to turn it all the way up. It's weird because it happened like midway through the show. It just started getting lower.
How about now? Is it better?
That is better. I turned it up on my side as well, so that looks good. Okay, guys. Looks like Alphonse was asking, what are your thoughts on BTC? It looks like it's meeting support. Again, I don't know if you can. These are times we wish we had the beard. Don't get me wrong. We got to have TA on the channel. We got to make sure that we get that for you guys. That being said, it's tough to apply trend analysis to something that's happening right now in crypto. Which is, it's like trying to do trend analysis on Dogecoin. Good luck. How do you do trend analysis on Dogecoin when it's so momentum based? So when you have Elon, when you have Russell Okung, when you have Chamath, when you have all these guys going on CNBC and talking about the future of finance, as long as Coinbase doesn't come in and shut down your buys and Robinhood shutting down buys, you have a lot of momentum there. So that's my thoughts there on Bitcoin. I mean, it's tough to do traditional trend analysis when you have so many fundamental things outside of the actual charts at play.
Yep. How am I sounding now? Better, closer, warmer?
Way louder. Yeah. Okay. I'll turn it back
sorry,
down.
but sorry, my bad on Zoom is it's an interesting little program.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. He sounds great now. We are ready to roll. We hit 103, 104. Maybe Paul Young saying maybe turn the knob to 11. So guys, we have been here for about, I would say oh my God. We've been here an hour and a half talking about this stuff, Buff.
Really? Seems like 5 minutes to me. I got so much more.
Yeah, so Mass Mage
radio after this, man. We're cruising today.
Mass Mage is saying trend analysis. Elon Musk tweets GameStop indicates a 20 to 30% rise. Yes, exactly. How do you feel comfortable with traditional trend analysis when something like this can occur? Mm-hmm. Right? Let's do trend analysis on game. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So. Definitely a lot of good stuff. Appreciate the comments. You guys are killing it, man. Mass Mage saying a good stock trade would be to YOLO everything on 1 day expirations on SPY options. Alphonse is saying, yeah, that's good insight. I wanted to get in on it, but just felt like I was just trying to rush it. That was one thing you were talking about pre-episode, yeah? Where you definitely felt like you didn't want to get caught up in the FOMO of it and be that bag holder.
Yeah, exactly. When I make a decision to invest, I have to be able to believe the entry point is something I can sit with for a while. And if I feel like I'm riding a rocket ship, it's really hard to time it. And it brings back PTSD from my pump and dump experience in that one coin. So I just don't like that feeling, man. It stresses me out way more than it should. So if it's stressing you out, it's probably a sign to listen to that about yourself. And if it's something where you're like, man, that's easy. I pulled the trigger right now. Then go ahead. You do you. That's my advice. You do you.
Awesome, man. You guys are killing it. Thomas is coming through saying Google removed over 150K reviews for Robinhood that were 1 star. I think you were touching on that as well, correct?
Yeah. It's just another centralized system there with Google saying, no, this app's doing well. It's bringing a lot of attention. No, apparently it's not lately, and the people are giving feedback, but they go ahead and remove those. Now, I don't know fully how many of those were maybe bots or somebody was running something that's filling it, but I know a lot of them were probably legit. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are not liking it, so.
Yeah, so we got some questions. So listen, we have a full episode to get to. We do have to get to Lads Radio. We have game night tonight. We got Casa de Arte tomorrow. We're doing that live auction. So a lot of things going on. It looks like Mr. Bear is ready to roll out as well, but we are stuck in here, Mr. Bear.
He is tearing apart a roll of toilet paper right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I've been looking over like, well, if I get up, I'm going to knock the green screen over, and y'all going to find out I'm not really in Lad City. So
you're not in Lad City?
No, I'm in Lad City. What did I say?
Come on now. All right, so this is what we got. I want to read the room. I want to do something that, the bigger boys aren't doing. This is the whole thing, decentralized media content, decentralized content creation, so that we can read the room. Do you want us to move on? We have a whole episode to get to here. We have NFTs. We got Coinbase going public. We got Blockfolio adding some application features. NFTs are going to be an interesting topic. And then social tokens, again, that user aggregation layer of NFTs and social is going to be interesting. But should we move on at this point? Do you want us to move on to the next stories, or should we stay in here a little bit longer? You let us know.
We can always come on back. This is a rabbit hole that we just have to climb out of, but jump back in.
Yep. Massive Mage. SEC seems like they are okay when hedge funds pump and dump, but when the market as a whole pumps and dumps, they are surprised Pikachu face. Exactly. Exactly. So again, when somebody's shorting something, or the hedge funds make a ton of money on a 100% move, or 100%, not 100% down, but like a 50% down move, and they're super short, and they make a ton of money, are they going to come back on CNBC and say, "Well, hold on, let's evaluate the fundamentals here.
Yeah.
That's a little bit crazy. GameStop shouldn't be valued that high." That's crazy. That's craziness, and it's taking away the free market. You had Pomp, you had Chamath. These guys are all ballers at what they do. They did a great job. So if you're not getting everything that you need from wherever you're getting your media from, especially like if you're here and you're listening to us talk, definitely right afterwards check out Chamath. Those guys are awesome. So anyways, we got some comments coming through. Looks like we have a Litecoin. Looks like we got a Litecoin guy here talking about a Litecoin airdrop. Litecoin's had some interesting airdrops, I think.
What have they been doing lately? They've been dropping some good stuff?
No, I think there's been some different airdrops. It looks like Perm is looking for us to move on. Perm, are you looking for us to move on to get to the end of the episode for a certain thing, or you just don't want to hear about this anymore? So Expo was talking Gray Mass bought a bunch of LTC. Okay, I guess we'll finish up. We'll kind of wrap a bow on this with your thoughts, Buff. I've got a article here that's talking about SEC vowing to protect retail investors. Thank you, SEC. I needed your help amid GameStop fracas. So it looks like they're keeping a close eye. SEC has released a new letter addressing the volatility of certain stocks. It looks like they're going to make sure that the House committee is going to meet. The SEC is going to get together. Market participants should be careful to avoid such activity. Likewise, issuers must ensure compliance with federal security laws for any contemplated offers or sales of their own securities. So, my favorite part about this whole thing is people like going to GameStop and going to AMC's Twitter and seeing their reaction. Like, do they lean into what's going on, or GameStop's basically like probably scared to death to tweet anything.
Yeah.
Unless they come under the fire of the SEC, so they're just playing it cool, like nothing's the problem. And there's a bunch of other interesting memes going around, and I'll throw that one up that you actually have in there. But let's tie a bow on it. Last thoughts, guys. Get your thoughts out in the chat before we move on to the rest of the episode.
Thoughts for me, man. I really feel like this is the catalyst. It's going to move a lot of investors that may have stuck in traditional stock trading investing and moving towards crypto in a decentralized kind of manner. And I look forward to a lot of that in the next year or two, or possibly months. Who knows how fast this is going to happen? And I think it's just a sign of there's so much more to come in this. This is just the tip of the iceberg that's on fire. If that makes any sense.
The iceberg that's on fire.
Because it centralizes melting. That shit is going away.
Yeah. Perm's coming in saying, a lot of good comments. Perm's coming in saying, well, it's going long with Wall Street and GameStop. Yeah, you're right. I would like to hear some interesting crypto stuff now. That's what we're here for, to talk interesting crypto stuff. Buff, I don't know where you got this picture of me and my girlfriend, but great photography there.
Yeah, is this when you dyed your hair and grew your beard? I like it. That's good stuff, man. But this is it. This is exactly what's happening. I have literally watched streamers say, you know what? I don't care about the money. Besides just the financial gain for people.
Yeah, Grayscale, it looks like, is doing some things with the Litecoin as well as ETH. There's, really, really interesting times. We're glad we could cover it here. We're glad that you guys are with us. XPOW is echoing a statement that I made early on, which was, this is the biggest win GameStop. I think XPOW is saying, will GameStop start giving more than 15 cents for a $50 game? Early on, when this was first happening, I didn't understand the implications. I was like, man, this is GameStop's biggest win since they, got my Madden 06, like brand new Madden 06. They got me like $5 and then gave me a little bit extra store credit. So that's the deal there. But we're gonna pop out. It looks like Tony's saying that guy looks like you, Crypto Buffalo.
Yeah, a little bit if I went the blonde route.
Okay, quick news. Whew. Great segment.
Quick news.
Yeah. All right, we are out of breaking news. We are out of the craziness that's going on in the market. Thank you guys for sticking by us. We are at about 100 of you in the chat. So get the word out. Let's hit all-time highs. 113 is all-time highs. You can earn the social token lads here today that you can use within our community. Shout out to all the lads in the house. Okay. Coinbase is going to go with a direct listing instead of an IPO. What does that mean? That means that they are not going the traditional route of hitting the stock exchange and issuing additional shares. What does that, and let's go further down that TLDR. It's when a company goes to IPO, there's going to be a creation of new shares. Direct listings are limited to existing shares. James Tadaro breaks this down here. Breaking: Coinbase chooses direct listing over IPO. Possible key reasons: strong market demand, no help needing generating additional liquidity, no lockup for early investors, and they can sell their shares immediately. So that's the idea. It looks like Coinbase is seeing enough demand, enough volume that they're saying, you know what, screw the IPO, screw that process. We're going to do it ourselves. Some other people are claiming that this is kind of along the decentralization route. They're doing it themselves as opposed to like going through a service where they need to, again, dilute the shares, do these things. No, they're going straight to the public. So do I think it's altruistic? No, but we'll kind of go through.
I definitely think it's going to be interesting. I mean, Coinbase has been one of those that's really risen in the crypto space. It's never had a major issue in the sense of hacking. I mean, the only things I've seen from Coinbase that have really made me question it, besides their crazy fees, is when they freeze and they stop everybody from doing anything during major market movements when you want to use Coinbase the most. So,
a lot of good comments coming through here. New Leo saying, is WallStreetBets a coin I can buy because it's on CoinMarketCap? No, CoinMarketCap was trolling us this morning. They actually posted WallStreetBets token and like made it. I forgot. I don't even know how they like set the price, but it was a fake token and they set it from the actual zero. So it was like a price increase of infinity pretty much. And it was like the number one above Bitcoin. So
was it? How did I miss that? That's awesome.
Yeah. It was, well, yeah. So we got Mass Mage talking about the lads token. Tony Deck is saying, I wonder why Coinbase still doesn't have to make its own token. There again, we touched on this earlier. Coinbase is traditional finance wrapped in the cloth of crypto. They're not going to go that route and get themselves into any regulatory issues when they don't need to. So, whereas Uniswap, decentralized exchange, those are the guys that you want to kind of have that discussion with.
Mm-hmm.
Fleety's saying, hit the likes, guys. Still a few playing hard to get. Yeah, let us know what we got to do, guys. We'll take you out to dinner. We'll see what we need to do there. Mass Mage, I can't wait to buy some Coinbase stock. Yeah, that's going to be an interest. I mean, they're going direct listing. They know that there's going to be demand. A lot of people can use that as a proxy to get into crypto. If they're not fully in, they can invest in Coinbase and get that proxy there. So Brian Armstrong is absolutely killing it. Okay, next quick news piece, and it's going to be a little bit quicker. We actually have a big user of Blockfolio here in Lad City that is Crypto Buffalo. And he did not know. Did you not see the update? Not see the update? Okay. All right, I need coffee. I need everything. Scott Harris.
Shut off for a second. I'll say, hey, I'm Crypto Buffalo. What are you talking about me?
Scott Harris is in the chat. An OG lad, a minor lad. Shout out to Scott Harris Firestone in the chat. Mike Scott as well. So we're talking quick news now. We basically hit. I mean, Scott, you missed the meat of the episode. We were talking everything that's happening in the traditional finance space and Robinhood and all that stuff as it makes its way into crypto. But Blockfolio taking advantage of Robinhood's PR stunt or bad PR. They're using this as a time to say, hey, now it's not just a portfolio tracker. You can buy, sell, and trade within Blockfolio. Interesting move by them.
Yeah, I've used this app like a fiend every 5 seconds. I've used it a couple times during this show. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a good move. I need to scale up, man.
No, yeah, this is a good move, definitely. I'm a big Delta user myself. Lads is on Delta. We need to get Lads on Blockfolio. But shout out to everyone that's joining us. We got 102 in the chat. All-time high is going to be 113. We got to hit 113. All right, we are out of quick news. So this is the deal. Lads, Cuban just loves lads, I guess. Not investment advice whatsoever on that statement, by the way.
Is that to Mark Cuban or to every individual listening, right?
I don't know.
So do we? Yeah. So it's been interesting to know that Lads has gone to Mark Cuban now. Mark Cuban is a holder of Lads. He
Yeah.
recently has announced, or somebody found out his actual wallet. Is that how this came to be?
Yeah, it raises an interesting point on like advertisement in the future when you have Etherscan almost acting as a billboard. So what you can do is like if Mark Cuban's wallet ever gets out there, which it did, it was posted via something he was doing with Aave. Like Aave needed any more wins, but everyone got a hold of his address, which I'll pull up here. So now we know Mark Cuban's address, and you can see that he is a lot in Aave. And correct me if I'm wrong. Someone needs to help me out with this because Lads is a trading token or a traded token, and it has a value. But I think what might be happening here with Etherscan is each project needs to create a profile now in order for it to show up at the height of this stuff. So as you can see, Mark Cuban's wallet, and he is a holder of Lads right there. That baby, 22 hundo of Lads. So
It's a smart move on his point. Probably one of his best investments I've seen the man do. Maybe he'll mention it when he's on Shark Tank or CNBC podcast or something. I don't know. Give us a shout.
Buffalo, you need to throw out a disclaimer there. Amazing move on his part. Amazing move. Also not investment advice. Okay.
Well, he didn't make the move, is what I'm saying right now. He was rewarded for being Mark Cuban, which is happening to a lot of celebrities as well. I think that this is just, this year's going to be interesting to see a lot of people who have sway and have their own communities that may not have been tokenized yet in that social aspect, or is investors coming on in that, get ready. We're going to talk into social coming up right now, so it's a good time to get ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. So this story goes along with Cuban talking about NFTs. Obviously, we've seen Flow and what they're doing with NBA Top Shot, and I have a hard time not believing that Cuban is in Top Shot in some form or fashion because he's an owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He's talking about NFTs on CNBC. So he's literally using the term non-fungible tokens, which I always kind of found interesting. Like I don't know if I thought maybe it would take longer to get adopted. We're kind of seeing that adoption piece right now with NFTs, whether we would use that term or if we would use, like when Mark Cuban would be on CNBC, would he be calling a non-fungible token something else that maybe is easier to understand? But no, he's on CNBC using the term non-fungible token. Let's see where exactly we can pull that up because he had a lot of statements here. You got anything? Oh, let me do this real quick. Cuban's Wednesday tweet, as well as when he was on CNBC, he was saying that you can sell anything digital using an NFT, and then he goes on to talk about Bitcoin a little bit more. I watched the interview. I wish I could pull it up now, but he was there specifically talking about DeFi. He was specifically talking about NFTs. So interesting stuff.
I'd love to see it from higher, people that are more popular. They're talking about the NFT space now, which is like a sub niche within all of this that's emerging even more. And I feel like this year with gaming NFTs are going to be massive. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of people with sway are coming into this space and bring a lot more heads to the game.
Yeah, 100%. So that was Cuban's address again. Cuban, the holder of Lads. Interesting stuff. I want to go back to the point that I made. Having these influencers get in, so even past Cuban, you got Soulja Boy, you got some other guys. Once they make their address known, these essentially act as billboards, right? Because you can see, if Lads was actually up there, we sent him a fair amount, and we would be up there sitting, in the top of this, right next to Aave, right next to Friends with Benefits. So interesting stuff that these can be used as billboards, as advertisements. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So the next two pieces are about different projects. I'm going to have Buff touch on the first one in Decentraland. This is going to be MegaCube. So what's going on with Polygonal Mind and MegaCube in Decentraland, Buff?
Now, the question is this happening right now? Because as we're bringing this story in, I know I was saying that I would love to go into Decentraland and participate. Because what they're doing is they're bringing everybody into Decentraland, and they are going to create a big block that everybody can mine. And as you're mining it, you're getting rewards. And the first player to reach the core gets an amazing big prize.
Expo saying he's there now.
Are you mining right now, Expo? Oh, you're listening to Layer 1 Live on Friday. That is a true lad right there. Well played.
Let's see. This is interesting. It did start 46 minutes ago. Let's see if we can't get in here. I'm gonna pop in.
There you go. Let's see you.
I love
mine the cube.
I love the metaverse when we're in YouTube. God, this is a long ass show, man. All right. Oh My Coins is asking for going over Soulja Boy news. We'll definitely hit that, man.
Yeah,
we'll definitely hit that. And whether that's good for social tokens, that's another piece. I think he's getting into NFTs and social as we go forward into 2021, 2022, and a lot of things we're doing here in Lads mirror that. NFTs and social are going to run up right next to each other, right? Because they're interoperable in some cases. And what I mean by that is you can put two of those things together and use them simultaneously in various ways. So a lot of different things as we go forward, man, with social tokens and NFTs.
Now, for any of you guys that don't know Decentraland yet, this is a metaverse on the blockchain. Q is about to jump in here, and he's going to go find this mega block, and he's going to start mining. If his computer doesn't crash, and the whole show goes down with him. This is where the Casa de Arte is going to be hosted as well in Decentraland. Not in this exact parcel, but we will get you that address. But this will kind of show you as it comes together. If this is your first time looking at Decentraland, it's quite fun.
You think I'd spend more money on a computer? So, anyways, I do see some guys in here. If you're here and you want to go to Decentraland, we can pop in.
Look at it. The cubes are floating. Is that what's going on?
See, these guys don't even know that they're on one of the best shows in crypto right now. They don't know. How does that work from like a filming perspective? You know?
You've got to get each one of them to write down that they are giving you permission to film them. That's what I've always had to do when I work on big shows like this. So that, sir, can we have your permission?
I got
What
is happening? Click any face to enable it. Click in the surface to remove a cell. Start playing. Okay. I'm going to ascend here. Okay. I don't know, man. Listen, we're having a great time here, but I don't think my computer is giving you guys the experience you deserve.
Load faith.
We got 110 in the chat watching me act like an idiot in Decentraland. Guys, we're going to hop out of here and talk social tokens. And one really, really, really cool.
Are you out of there, or can you back up and see? I want to see the size of this cube.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because apparently this goes on until Sunday. And so as people mine, once you get to the core, there's really something special in there. But right now, I just see everybody just walking around looking for directions.
Yeah. You could kind of get the sense of the scale.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Before we hop out of here, here's my question. Are you ready, Buffalo?
I'm always ready.
Are you ready?
Okay, no, I'm not.
I'm going to pull up this Twitter post, and this is what I told you right when I saw it. You got this video here. We can watch a little bit of it. Prizes, games, people, MegaCubes. Prizes for just one player. Many rewards from. And then it goes into all these projects. Where the is NFT Live on here?
Yeah.
What?
We're hiding too much in Lad City, bro. We need to come out of Lad City every once in a while. Like, we're like groundhog is hiding. We need to pop out and be like, hey, what y'all doing over there?
Somebody go find these guys and tell them that they need to talk to NFT Live.
Yeah.
I
would do Lads Radio while everybody's mining the MegaCube. I think I would have a hoot doing that.
We invented the synth mountains. What did you call them that one time?
Cyber mountains or something.
Cyber mountains. You got cyber mountains. We invented that. No one else has ever done that in the history of synth mountains.
That's our color scheme. You can't use that.
God dang it.
Yep.
Loadmaster's in here. All right, we got a ton of different comments in here. It looks like a ton of people. Yep, Loadmaster's in the house. Great show. Okay, guys, we are moving on. Hey, listen, this is the coolest NFT project that's popping out since Casa de Arte's announcement like 5 seconds ago.
Exactly.
This is the absolute coolest announcement that I've seen. I'm going to drop it right now. Are you guys ready? I want to R-Vibe, R-Tribe, and chat before I make this announcement. Come on, I'm waiting for it. We got 96 in the house. They didn't like my Decentraland.
Can't please them all, Q. Can't please them all.
They didn't like my Decentraland gameplay. Okay. This is from one of our community members. So shout out to the community members. Charged Particles. What a cool freaking project this is going to be. First of all, I see all you guys in the chat, our Vibe, our tribe. The first thing that I have to mention is these guys got funded by Aave. So like Aavegotchi, they received a grant from the Aave protocol, the Aave network, whatever funds they have set aside for this. So that's the first thing. Attached to Aave, checkbox number 1. Checkbox number 2, and I'm just going to read it out. There's going to be collateral inside of these NFTs. That is going to be, so checkbox, next checkbox, interest bearing. There's going to be a lot of other things here, so I'm just going to read it. Imagine a rare baseball card purchased and loaded with $100 in 1920, earning 8% a year. This card would now be worth nearly $300,000. Today, this collectible card would have intrinsic value of $300K in addition to speculative value attached, selling for a grand total of $500K. Charged particles are interest-bearing NFTs. A particle is any non-fungible token that, via the charged particle protocol, is minted with an interest-bearing token, in this case, a DAI. So, obviously, like the token, the staking token there, receiving DAI on the Aave protocol to accrue interest over time, given the token a charge. With the charged particles protocol, you're able to turn any NFT into a DeFi NFT. It's still the NFT you know and love, but now it's able to have an actual underlying intrinsic value and accrual interest over time. This reminds me a little bit. I know we have Paul working in Wax a little bit. But we have seen NFTs on the Wax blockchain have wax that you can then burn the NFT and receive the wax. But there's a lot of other things at play with this interest, with the attachment to the Aave protocol. Interesting stuff. We always knew this was going to be the case. There's going to be things that blow your brain wide open in crypto, and this is one of them. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, again, the full kind of value here, charged particles value, the intrinsic value of the actual DAI that's within the NFT, in this case, a DAI. The speculative value, so what is someone willing to purchase an NFT for? And then the accrued interest that you get with the NFT. And Brian's in the house saying it's like a bond. Yes, it's a bond, yeah. But it's a bond attached to a collectible.
So many layers to all this.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Okay, so I do want you to hit. Let me know what you guys think about charged particles, and thank you for the lads that brought this to my attention as well. You know who you are. You guys are awesome. We got roadmaps, we got FAQs, a lot of other things. I do want you to address one question though, Buff. Masked Mage is saying, why is everyone saying our vibe, our tribe?
Well, it's deep wisdom knowledge here that a wise mystic man, crypto mystic out of Norway, who is I believe a noble lad at this point, once said that your vibe attracts your tribe. He stated that one day in Lad City, and all the lads looked at him and then said, our vibe, our tribe. It started catching on, and each day after the shows, Q, myself, and Ronan the ETH collector, Ronan the collector, would end the show with our vibe, our tribe. So it's essentially telling you that if you've got an awesome vibe, find your awesome tribe. And if you're hanging out here in Lad City, then that means you probably got a kick-ass vibe, because this is a kick-ass tribe. So our vibe, our tribe. There you go.
Expo coming through and saying it's because we're a cult. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get right to the heart of it, you got to drink some. You got to drink some.
You're admitting to it.
Yeah, you got to get the Kool-Aid. You got to wear robes. You have to wear a lot of robes. There's a lot of different things.
No way, man. We're not cult. We're not a cult. We're culture. All right, we're everything. We're a society of awesome people in the world, man.
Interesting. We're not a cult. We're a culture. There's some probably etymology to that. All right. Anyways, all right, we're down the rabbit hole. Masked Mage is saying, so I'm trying this crypto cube and I don't understand it. Yeah, welcome to crypto.
Yeah, Q didn't either. He was live on air there trying to figure it out. So once you know, let him know.
All right. We are loving this episode. We got 100 of you guys in here. So what a great time. What a great time. And you know what's even greater? Ronan the Collector, one of our hosts on NFT Live, one of our team members. He talked to Soulja Boy, it looks like. And Soulja Boy, tell him, crank that, has 440 lats. So actually, no, with the fee, it's 420.
Well, see, that's what it said. But when I looked at the 220 that you sent, to our boy Cuban, that fee didn't take it out. So
Okay.
I feel like
see.
he's getting the full amount, and you're having to pay the fee after that.
You're
Which
right.
is misleading in that notification, though.
You're right. Wow. Interesting. So, I need to talk to the miners about that then. No.
He was like, "Shit, Bub, why didn't you tell me that weeks ago?"
If you know that joke, you are an insider. You are a. Okay, amazing. All right. Anyways,
We're all learning something today.
Listen, this has been a long episode, longer than our normals. It looks like we're about to hit 2 hours, so definitely bear with us. We are about to hit all-time highs. About 12 more people we need in the house. Anyways, Soulja Boy is getting into crypto. He's said multiple times throughout his Twitter feed. It started, I think, like a week or two ago. He was like asking, "Hey, how do I get into crypto?" There's a lot of different, influencers, different artists that are going to ask that same question over the course of years. And somebody set this dude up on freaking Bittrex, and he was trading like the most shitty shit coins that have ever existed. And then, and to his credit, he got further down the rabbit hole. He's asking a bunch of these different questions. He says, these new Soulja Boy NFTs are legendary. I got them on Rarible right now. You can see it looks like he's selling these for 5 ETH. Let's see if there's any sales here. There's sales here.
Soulja Boy.
5 ETH. This man. So Soulja Boy's found the NFT community. The NFT community has been found to spend some moolah. So he's getting into NFTs. He's also asking about Soulja Coin. He says, "Okay, let's make Soulja Coin happen." He continues to talk. I think he actually was tweeting about, and this is the big one. This is what Roll got involved with as well. So Roll, we work with Roll on our social token as well. Soulja Boy comes out and asks, "Who can help me make Soulja Coin a real thing without getting into any legal trouble with the SEC? Like real and legit. I think this could be big. I don't know. Contact me. Thanks." Crank it. And then Roll comes through and saying, "Hey, we'll help you guys out." So that's the story there, guys. Soulja Boy is making his way into crypto. We've got Nyan saying, "Bye, lads. It's too late here." Thanks for sticking through us, or sticking through with us to the end. Soulja Coin on Roll. Possibly we'll see that soon. Okay. Last bit, man. We are rolling up. We are fully in the social tokens. Soulja Boy again is launching some NFTs. He's also launching Soulja Boy, a Soulja Coin. We'll see where that leads. The one comment I'll make before I move on to Roll here, as well as Whale and Tommy. Some of me doesn't feel right. Although the more he talks, the better I feel about it. But whenever I see an influencer initially just like have one tweet or 2 tweets and they're asking about social tokens and NFTs, I get a little bit worried. Because that's a lot like the ICO. Like at the end of the ICO craze, what you had was like Paris Hilton launching an ICO. I'm sure everyone and their mother that was a scammy ass influencer decided, hey, I think I can raise $5 million here, or get at least a part of this pie. So what we don't want to see is the eyes, as you're saying right here, Soulja Boy, although there's a lot of other things the SEC is worried about now. What we don't want to see is people coming into this game for the wrong reason. That's why the RAC token was awesome. That's why that interview was amazing, because he's an artist, he's a creator, and he also sees the value prop and means well.
Yeah. There's no stopping. There's going to be some turds in the punch bowl. I mean, this is the free will of the sandbox effect, right? Where you're going to have people come in here and use crypto for good and crypto for bad. Influencers have a lot of sway these days. I mean, it's become a huge deal. I mean, look at Instagram influencers.
Yeah. I mean, or Roll could just shut off the platform. Come on now.
That too.
Just kidding. Okay. So Bradley, in the description, Bradley had a nice social token thesis blog post kind of come out. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm not going to bring this up on stream because it's just been so long, but I do have it in the description. He wrote this for Messari. Messari is an awesome analytics and research platform. So you guys can definitely check that out. I'll pull it up on the screen just to show you, but he kind of goes through the rise of user-generated capital, things that we're doing here with Lads, and he breaks it out really completely. Shout out to the Roll team. We've got a call with them next week. It'll be awesome to hear from Bradley. It'll be awesome to hear from the Roll team. So interesting stuff. A lot of good things are going on. Let's touch on this whale NFT, and then we'll touch on Tommy Wilson, and then we'll get up out of here. So what's going on, Buff?
Shout out to all the whales out there. If there's any whale fans of the whale community that are representing here and showing up in Lad City, appreciate you. You guys have been around since I've come on board. And the whale community, they've got a massive vault. So the whale vault is worth over $20 million as of right now. And apparently there was a little audit recently done with Whale Shark that they found out that 18 million of that 20 million is NBA Top Shot tokens. So that's very interesting to see such a high percentage of one asset. But it's very interesting. This was done on a Rolls email list there. And as Whale grows, it's really interesting to see what they put in that vault. But everybody knows right now what's the number one NFT. I mean, it's Top Shot. So I can see that play. But yeah, it's very interesting to watch. And especially as we're trying to figure out, our vault mechanics and grow as a community as well. Watching how Whale, definitely up at the top, running their vault. It's very interesting to see what they choose to put in it. So I'll definitely be watching that one a little closer as we move forward.
100%, man. We got a comment that I want you to hit here in the chat, Buff, if you can, before I hit this Tommy Wilson story, because he's working with Roll to launch his social token as well. It looks like Daniel Wilkie says, new to crypto, where is the best place to do some learning? I kind of want to know the basics.
Oh, man. Yeah, me too, brother. Let me know when you figure this out because I have no explain. Man, I highly recommend you come on and check out Lad City, which is our Discord, where after we do these streams on YouTube, we head into the Discord. You're going to have all sorts of crazy people from all around the world that know very little to everything since the beginning of the blockchain where they were mining Bitcoins, which I love to hear from people that were in it at the beginning. They definitely have this kind of calmer demeanor about this whole thing. They don't seem to FOMO as much because they realize how long it takes to really get going. But our community with the Lads Crypto Network here is various types of shows. Right now, Layer 1's covering everything happening in crypto as much as we can on Mondays and Fridays. Wednesday, we have NFT Live. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. And so we talk about that space, which has been emerging and blowing up. And then we have Lads Radio, which is going to happen right after this show. If you come on into our Lads City Discord, we will drop the link here in the comments section. You can hang out, listen to music, get to know some of your fellow lads here. I love the Lads community mainly because it has really changed the way I approach crypto. Crypto has only been such a lonely journey for me over the years where I'm watching YouTube videos and going down Medium articles and nobody to really collab with, nobody to bounce ideas off of, nobody to get other side of the project's information off of. And all I got is my dog, Mr. Bear, and me to just chat about it. And he doesn't give me a lot of input anymore. He's really rough with his ways. He's rough, bark, bark. But now you have everybody around the world all able to come together. We can have lounge chats where you can jump into an audio room with everybody. You can sit there with your mic open or closed, and you can listen in on conversations 24/7, 365. Social space for communities in crypto is changing, and Lad City is definitely emerging right now in Discord. And very soon we are going to have an actual city in the metaverse that you can come hang out in avatar mode, walk around, eventually rent out an apartment in the Lads Tower and hang out with us as much as you want.
So a lot of good comments coming in. Buff does a great job of explaining what we're doing with Lad City. I'm extremely jealous of you guys that are getting into crypto now because the amount of tools and the information out there. Clubhouse is another one that I would check out. There's a lot of good crypto discussions. You got to find the right ones. But if you find the right ones, the fact that you could just be in the room with Anthony Pompliano, with Chamath, with all these guys explaining Bitcoin, even guys at BC tiers of popularity, you're talking about having access to information that in 2016 just didn't exist. You had to go into Reddit boards and do all these different things. It wasn't as easily available. So it's going to be awesome to experience this, man. But think of crypto knowledge like a language. You just come back to our streams. We do these every week, twice a week. And then NFT Live we do on Thursday as well, or Wednesday as well. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right now, our live shows come back and it'll be like a language. Right now, if you replay this episode and go back, you'll be like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. But in a month, 2 months, 3 months, definitely in a year, you'll be talking alongside some of the lads here as, a crypto equal, in knowledge, not obviously in person. So,
and it's definitely intimidating, I bet, to come into this space with all these different slangs that's going on. When I first came in, I wasn't in a community. It was a lonely journey, but essentially I kind of said, all right, well, it's 2017. I want to look back from 2009, how this all started. I needed to know how this started. So I started watching documentary after documentary, and the big one that changed was the rise of Bitcoin. So I don't know how new exactly you are in this field, but definitely look into how this all started and kind of get that sense too, to respect of, where we're headed and where we've come from. And yeah, don't feel, if you don't understand, there is a lot of amazing people in that city that would love to help you out. We have various different channels based off of what you're interested in, and we have different districts too. And there's a crazy llama that pops up every once in a while that he will give you some
He's
very
right there.
good information. If you see him, you let me know.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Listen, we just hit the 2-hour mark, guys. So we just hit that 2-hour mark. We do have to get out of here. We're going to talk about Tommy Wilson. Speaking of a guy that's in it for the right reasons, former, I believe, was he AAA or did he go pro? I don't know if he went pro in the MLB like fully, but he was definitely AAA. Was Tommy in the pros?
I believe he's a pitcher for the Mets. So
yes.
yeah, and then,
yeah. So, and he's also a Chick-fil-A enthusiast, it looks like. So he's actually launching a social token with Tri-Roll as well. So a lot of really good stuff. I'm not, the biggest Mets fan, but I'm a Tommy Wilson fan. So thank God Tom's is launching. I'm sure it'll be in some way attached to some of the NFTs and memorabilia that he has. Maybe he can get some charged particles into some trading cards there. But a lot of good stuff happening. I'm going to drop the link now. I'm going to let Buff touch on Lads Radio here. But guys, 10 minutes. It takes Buff, 2 hours, man, we're on here. So it takes Buff, the DJ, a little bit, to get going. So make sure you guys understand, right after the show, hop into Lad City and you'll see it start to populate with a bunch of lads, and we'll just listen to tunes and relax for the next hour and a half, and we'll get going. But Buff, what do you got to say, man?
So yeah, crazy long show for you guys. I hope you guys got some information here. I was very excited last night knowing, man, we got layer 1 today. We're going to be able to chat all about this together. If you're seeing right now, Q just dropped a link into the comment section. What that is doing is he's releasing Lads tokens to all you guys out there. Now, if you're brand new, you're going to click on that link. It's not going to do much for you because you're going to have to set up a Roll wallet. So if you go to tryroll.com and set up your Roll wallet, you'll be able to get those Lads tokens free. Lads tokens, we have a ranking system. If you have 1 Lads token, you're a nomad. Move up to 500, you are a recruit. If you move up to 1,000, you are a guardian. And if you move up to 5,000, you are a noble lad. And there also are miners. So we have a liquidity pool on Uniswap. So all the people that have helped support the Lads token since it came out in early December, shout out to all you amazing lads. Couldn't have done it without you. Like, seriously, we could not have done it without you. And that's how this community is going to grow. And we are going to reward every lad for showing up and supporting our shows like we just did right now. And if you come and check out Lads Radio, which is happening in the Lads City Discord right after the show, your boy Buff here is going to hand out some NFTs to some of you guys, drop some Lads tokens in there, and I have a feeling other lads are going to share stuff too. It's just how we roll. We like to support it. And as I play music, I can't really see your faces. All I can see is your memes, your gifts, your texts, your support. So I love it when you all show up. It's your Friday, whether you're at work or you're doing what you do. Just come on in and listen to some music with us, and we'll chat it down together and wrap up the week.
Yeah, Buff was made to be a DJ on the radio, man. Like, he is awesome at it. Like, that's basically kind of my whole spiel there. Like, he's one of the best DJs that I've ever listened to. It's awesome to be in there. So
appreciate that comment, man. Thanks.
So we're actually, I'm moving it up in Lad City, so you should see I'm in there, Bullseye's in there, Anders in there. So definitely, guys, start to move over. We'll make sure the settings are all good. And we'll start Lads Radio here right after the show. 564 playbacks on Layer 1 Live today. 564 total over the course of 2 hours. Great stuff. Great episode. We'll talk more on Monday. We'll see where everybody is as far as the markets are concerned, as far as Wall Street versus Main Street, all this good stuff. But it was, again, a great episode. Buff, send us out, man.
All right, well, we're about to peace out. We're going to go back into Lad City, hang out. Mr. Bear, my dog, I'm going to take him for a walk real quick. I got a playlist queued up for you guys. It's going to be a lot of good fun, and we're gonna just wind it down. But we also got game night later on tonight, and then this weekend, Casa de Arte in Decentraland. Do not miss it. If you have any questions about anything you've heard today, come on into Lad City. We'll take care of you.
100%. I know we're doing a lot of stuff, guys, but that's awesome. I know there's a lot of information, but that's a good problem to have. So, lads, we are headed out here. Thank you so much. We will see you in Lads Radio in 10 minutes. Hop in there now. Get situated. Pull up your armchair. The DJ is coming. So, as always, happy trading.
Thank you, lads.